Podcast Doesn't Exist, episode 2025. That is one of the craziest Podcast Doesn't Exist episodes to date today. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news. Shohei Ohtani is back, and the Boston Red Sox are back. The Boston Red Sox this weekend, we circled it before the weekend was even started. We said, wow, the Red Sox are playing the Yankees, their bitter rival, division rivals. This is a time the Red Sox need to win. One of the biggest rivalries in baseball by far. And the Red Sox go and they sweep the Yankees. So that's 5 in a row for the Red Sox. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. Their playoff odds have doubled in a week, 15% to 30% for the Red Sox. And thanks to Rafael Devers' home run to put them up against the Yankees, they are a half game back of a playoff spot. And then they just made a big trade and everything is good. But you look at Twitter, what are Red Sox fans saying? I'm reading from this guy, World of Tatum. Everyone stop going to all the games. Don't spend a single dollar on the franchise until the team is sold. This one's from I Will GR 2001. Fuck you guys. Fuck Fenway Sports Group. Fuck Craig Breslow. Why do we do these things to make our fan base that pays your salary want to kill themselves? I mean, we had to put up with your shit since the Mookie trade. And then we do it again. Fire everybody. Don't show up to games. And then Stephen Blath Ross. Send Breslow to the front lines of Israel, loser. So the Red Sox fans are pissed because what the fuck? They traded Rafael Devers.
I thought this was a fake thing at first.
I didn't know. I didn't think it was fake because you texted me and I said, this is my most trustful soldier right now. So if Mitchell tells me that Rafael Devers has been traded, he has been traded. But it was kind of trippy because I was at my parents' house and I was watching ESPN Baseball Night before it, and they weren't even talking about it when it happened. I'm like, what the fuck? They're interviewing this guy about some other shit. But they talked about it in a second. Either way, the Red Sox trade Rafael Devers in a trade that has shocked many. If you are not aware so far, they trade Rafael Devers and they got back Jordan Hicks, starting pitcher, Kyle Harrison, another starting pitcher, Jose Bello, who is not even in the top 30 prospects of the Giants organization, but he's a prospect. And then James Tibbs, who I think was like the 13th overall draft pick last year.
And he's a 22-year-old in A-ball.
22-year-old in A-ball right now. So that's the return for Rafael Devers. They're calling it the Luka Doncic trade of MLB because they're both fat and they can't play defense. But I didn't say that was on Twitter. But fuck, man, that's a starter with an ERA over 6 who is currently injured in Jordan Hicks. Another pitcher who has an ERA over 4. That's Kyle Harrison. He's already been sent to the minor leagues. So Red Sox already is there, and we don't even want this guy really for this year. Go work on your slider or whatever the fuck. And they had to give up their best hitter, Rafael Devers, the 8th best hitter in the league. I peg him as 10th most home runs in Red Sox history. Mitchell, that blew my fucking mind. How long the Red Sox have been around?
Forever.
Since the Beanstockings. Babe Ruth was trending last night. That's when you know it's bad. Since 2020, he's been the most productive Red Sox by nearly 8 wins. Rafael Devers has been the one good Red Sox on this team over the past, probably since 2020.
Once they traded Mookie, I think he would be their best player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could argue for the first couple of years, it was Xander Bogaerts, but you would have to argue that. Like, Devers has been the rock of the Red Sox for the entire decade.
He's the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson of the Red Sox. That's basically what, it was. Face of the franchise, people will say. You definitely have to put him as the face of the franchise of the Red Sox, which actually kind of seems weird. I feel like the Red Sox should have a better face of the franchise. No offense to Rafael Devers, but his star power, whatnot. You'd think the Red Sox would have a guy who was more the face of the franchise of Devers, but he wasn't. He was the face of the franchise, and they just fucking traded away. They said good luck in San Francisco. Big for the Giants, but everyone is asking, why would the Red Sox do this? You trade the best player on the team, best player you've had for the past 5 or so years, and you trade him for basically nothing. Mitchell, and I went back to 2018 to investigate and find out for our viewers why the Red Sox would do such a thing. If you remember 2018, one of the best seasons in baseball history for the Red Sox. Dead ass. This team won 108 games. They won the ALDS 3-1, ALCS 3-1, and won the World Series 4-1. I'm sorry, ALCS was also 4-1. So they won a World Series without breaking a fucking sweat. All right, didn't even have to go to a Game 6 the entire playoffs. 4th World Series in 14 years. They were the 3rd most valuable franchise in baseball, one of the most successful franchises in sports. I mean, I don't have to tell you that. The Red Sox are a big deal. They made a movie about them. You ever seen Fever Pitch with Jimmy Fallon?
I actually did. Watched it for the first time this past year.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Does it hold up? I mean, when I was looking, I love that shit.
I think it's fun seeing that they recorded it and had no idea that they were going to go to the World Series.
It was a moment. They were on the cover of MVP Baseball 2005, and they had that song Tessie. You know, Red Sox, big deal. That's all I'm trying to say. The Red Sox were a big deal, and in 2018, they were the best team in the league by far. On this team was a 21-year-old named Rafael Devers. Okay. He's not the reason they won it. He was just a rookie at the time because they also had Mookie Betts, MVP, JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts. They had Cy Young winner Chris Sale. Together, they put up the 10th best regular season in baseball history. Didn't even get challenged in the playoffs, and were all returning in 2019. Okay, then they disappointed, didn't even make the playoffs. Then 2020, they trade Mookie Betts. Things get even worse. They missed the playoffs. They make the playoffs in 2021, surprised many. Go to the ALCS, but then they don't re-sign Bogaerts. They let JD Martinez walk. 2 more disappointing seasons. Last place seasons, I believe, and they trade Chris Sale. He goes to win a Cy Young in Atlanta. Mookie Betts goes on to win a World Series in Los Angeles. Did I mention they traded Mookie Betts?
No.
Well, they also traded Mookie Betts, which was the
Wow.
biggest deal of all this. This is the whole point of going back to 2018 because it all ties together. So they trade Mookie Betts in 2020. And the Red Sox, after getting rid of all these guys, they put up back-to-back last place finishes. Fans are pissed. We went from they basically went from 2018 being the best team in the league to missing the playoffs like 4 out of 5 years. They trade their MVP, trade their Cy Young, let 2 fan favorites walk, JD Martinez and Bogaerts. I guess they're happy they let them walk, but at the time, the Red Sox fans were saying, "Why aren't you signing these guys, you cheap fucks?" Well, basically, they get rid of all these guys because why? They don't want to pay them. Why would they trade Mookie Betts before he's a free agent?
That just goes against everything that I feel like I was raised on the Red Sox. Like, they broke the curse when I was 7. And then from there, they're just this juggernaut. They have all of this star power. They're not a team that should be trading one of the best players in baseball twice. Like, I don't get... This blows my mind.
Yeah. You're exactly right. I mean, brother, the 3rd most valuable franchise in MLB. And if you look back at, look at the Red Sox teams that win the championship, look at their payrolls. Always 1, 2, 3 payrolls in the league. Since 2020, I don't know where the money's gone. I don't know why the Red Sox act like they're the Tigers over here trying to play money ball and getting rid of their best players. But that's what they're doing. And like what you're saying, that's what Red Sox fans are pissed about. Is why are we acting like we're the Marlins? We're the fucking mighty Red Sox.
Did you see that Bill Simmons was hypothesizing that the reason Devers got traded was so John Henry could use more money on Liverpool?
I mean, Red Sox fans won't shut the fuck up. They always say that because the guy owns European soccer. He's with teams that aren't even Americans. What am I trying to say? But was he being serious? Does he think that's like a real thing? I'm pretty sure Jared asked him that in a press conference at Red Sox Media Day.
So there's this
or Fan Fest. That's
article. I don't follow soccer, but there's this article that says how can Liverpool afford Florian Wirtz, and that came out 3 days ago.
Oh shit! Conspiracy. Florian Wirtz. That was the trade. We traded Rafael Devers for a midfielder. so Liverpool can compete with Manchester United or whatever the fuck. Yeah, so Red Sox fans, rightfully so, now they're doing conspiracy theories. They're looking into soccer players and their contracts and comparing it. So the franchise is pissed because they've sucked for like 5 years in a row. 6 out of 5 out of 6 years or whatever. But one guy has been good for him. That's Rafael Devers, right? And around this time where they're trading everyone, or since 2021, I got some stats for you. He's the 7th most RBIs in baseball, 9th most homers in MLB. He's 8th in baseball in slugging. And he's been the best Red Sox by far. I've already said this 3 times. No matter what numbers you look at, this guy's a top 10 hitter in the league. So before 2023, the Red Sox decide to extend Rafael Devers. 2023, this is a year and a half ago, all right? They give him an 11-year, $331 million deal. They don't do that just because he's like a good player or whatnot. A lot of that reason why they signed them like that was to kind of just like silence the backlash from fans. You know, like every Red Sox fan is complaining about how we're cheap now. We don't buy anybody and we suck now. So that's basically the Red Sox saying, all right, we just gave our star player $300 million. We're done being cheap. Rebuild's over. We're going to start spending. We're going to win another championship. That's when they were saying the offseason, it's full throttle. Remember that shit? I kept saying, we're going full throttle this offseason. We're going full throttle. That was 2024, and they didn't go full throttle. Then they fire their GM, Chaim Bloom, who that guy's probably right now is laughing his ass off. Seeing all this shit, everyone roasting the Red Sox GM. They're like, told you, boys. Shouldn't have fired Chaim. But they do fire Chaim, the guy who gave Devers the contract. Craig Breslow comes in and basically does what the Red Sox promise, all right? They have another mediocre season, but going into 2025, they trade for Garrett Crochet, then give him $170 million. They extend one of their top prospects, Christian Campbell. They make a huge free agent signing, getting superstar free agent Alex Bregman. But that's where the problems start. You all know this. They just signed Rafael Devers a year ago, who plays third base. So they signed him to be their third baseman for 11 more years. Alex Bregman also plays third base. And in spring training, when they asked Devers, he basically says, no, I play third base. I'm the third baseman. Here's the problem. He sucks at third base. He's terrible at third base, okay? He led third baseman in error, had the worst outs above average, worst defensive run saves amongst third basemen since 2017. He has the most errors in baseball and the second worst defensive run saves of any player in the league. Yet still in spring training, when asked if he's willing to be a DH, he says, quote, No. It's pretty simple, right? Kept it chill and simple. And no, I will not be a DH. But then he did end up being a DH because it's not really his decision. And he was bad at third base. So they put Rafael Devers. They move him to third base. And remember this, dude? One of the worst starts this season you can ever fucking have. One of the worst starts in MLB history. This guy started this season going over 19, 15 strikeouts. That's never happened. He was striking out 79% of the time. Red Sox fans are turning on him for the first time ever because not only is he selfish, he won't play third base or first base. This is actually before that. Not only is he selfish, he won't be DH. Now he sucks. Whatever. Devers starts hitting well, but the Red Sox haven't been good this season. Tristan Casas gets hurt, their first baseman. Red Sox need a first baseman. Devers would be the perfect guy to play first base, or fill in for him at least. He once again comes out and says, I will not play first base. I mean, these quotes are worse than I remember. Quote, they can't expect me to play every single position. I don't think what they say, I don't think they stay true to their word. They talked to me, basically told me to put away my glove. I don't understand some of the decisions that the GM makes. Next thing you know, someone in the outfield gets hurt and they want me to play outfield. Now I think they should do their job and essentially hit the market and look for another player, first baseman. Cunning words out of Devers. That's the type of shit. If you said that to me, dude, I'm fucking trading you. You know?
So,
as a podcast helper, if you come up to me and say, oh, time for you to do your job and get another podcast helper. Look right now. Jack, you notice Jack's not here.
Jack's not here.
What did Mitchell do? Switch positions.
And I didn't get a podcast helper, so I'm both the producer today and my own podcast helper.
2 jobs at once. You know what I'm saying? We don't pay.
Got canned if I said no.
We don't pay you to be the designated podcast helper, Mitchell. You need to work around. You know, once we give you that big contract going into the podcast year, Now we basically own you. So, like, how it works in the office is like, if I'm thirsty, I go, Mitchell, go the fuck get the water. If I need some snacks from downstairs, I got all these Starburst, I'll go say, Mitchell, go get the fucking Starburst. But he's a team player, and he can play multiple positions, and that's what he does. Devers basically wasn't doing that, and calling the owner, a loser for signing Bregman and stuff. Anyway, season goes on. Then Alex Bregman gets hurt. Now they need a third baseman. They come out and say they don't want Devers playing third base. So they want Devers to play first base. He doesn't want to play first base. Then the third baseman gets hurt. They won't even let him play third base, even though the guy played third base his whole career. So it's obvious the relationship is pretty fucked up right now. All right. Devers feels disrespectful. This new GM comes in, signs a third baseman to replace him, tries to get him to play first base all of a sudden, won't let him play third base. The Red Sox feel like they're getting ripped off because they just paid this guy $330 million. Turns out he's not even willing to change his position. Now he's a DH only, and you don't want to pay $330 million to a guy who's just a DH. And now he's causing a lot of drama off the field. Red Sox, it looks like now they were like, what's the word? Conniving. Like they were trying to trade this guy so bad. Once he said he wasn't going to play first base, the Red Sox got in a group chat and we're like, yo.
Well, what can we do to get him out of here?
We'll give him away for anything. Peanuts. Like this guy, it's crazy. I didn't see it coming.
I mean, it's June 16th. The trade deadline's not for another month and a half.
Yeah, it feels like, they didn't even waste time trying to shop him. Now the report's saying like they were only the Red Sox, only the Giants, and a few other teams inquired, but they weren't going around like, what can you get for Devers? What can you get for Devers? The Giants just offered him something to Devers. They're like, yo, you're going to take this? Trade him for anything.
I mean, it's a terrible deal. You can argue that Devers is going to like regress and whatnot, but if they had shopped him around, they could have at least gotten 2 top prospects.
Yeah.
Like, the 2 prospects that they got are really not anything special. And then they took on Jordan Hicks' contract. He still owed $25 million, and he sucks. Like, the Giants got to offload a bad contract and get Devers and not give away anything. I don't get it.
It's also the timing makes it way worse because it's like the Red Sox just started playing well. Like, just now. And then if you look at what happened in the offseason and what the Red Sox are doing, the Red Sox were doing bad all year. Devers starts playing well. The Red Sox are still bad. But Bregman, who they signed in the offseason, had played amazing this season before he got hurt. Crochet has been amazing. So the offseason signings have been good. They just called it their top prospect. They won 8 of their last 9 games. They just swept the New York Yankees. They're a half game back of a playoff spot. And they trade the best hitter on the team.
They
right after that
did not let their fans celebrate sweeping their rival. 2 hours after, like, oh yeah, let's go. We swept the Yankees. Oh, we just traded your franchise player. Have fun. Come to games, please.
Yeah, everyone's shocked. One MLB exec, quote, holy fuck. Red Sox fans are freaking out, cursing the team, saying they're never going to cheer for the team again. One scout says, quote, that's all the Red Sox got.
That's terrible.
That's all the Red Sox got. So yeah, I mean, another report says they made this trade because the team felt a player who was making $313 million has responsibility to do it to do what is right for the team, and Devers did not do that. So there's 2 reasons they made the trade. One of them, he was not being a team player, which I guess is, I mean, it's really one reason. They didn't want to pay him because when they signed him, not only was it a different GM, so like this GM wasn't even attached to that signing. He probably wouldn't have even made that signing if he was in that position in the first place. But then once you make that signing, you thought you were signing a third baseman for the future. Now he's just a DH. So you give $330 million to a DH that you know won't play any other position. You can look at that deal right now, which is 9 years, $250 million, and say that's not a good baseball contract. Like, if Rafael Devers was a free agent this year, even coming off an amazing offensive season, the pure fact that he's 28 and is only a DH would probably drop his value down to like 200, like way less than that. No one's going to pay a DH that much money, no matter how good of a hitter you are.
It's just like, if I'm the Red Sox, it's not like his defense got significantly worse all of a sudden. Like, in 2023, negative 8 outs above average. 2024, negative 6 outs above average. Like, it wasn't like he suddenly got the yips and couldn't throw it to first, and now he had to play TH. If they really wanted to, he would have been a below-average defensive third baseman, but he could have been out there.
Well, that's where the Red Sox fucked up, because the way they did this, they signed another third baseman. And yeah, you know, you got to put some blame on Devers or for being kind of like unwilling to like change his position. You're getting paid $300 million, like change your position. But also in the Red Sox perspective, it seems like they didn't even tell this guy. They didn't warn him. Then they kind of flung on, you got to be a DH this spring training, and then kind of flung on him first base. And he didn't like, the end of the day, it was like a relationship issue between this GM and Rafael Devers. I'm going to say that probably if the GM was maybe a better communicator, he could have done a better job and Devers would have been happy to move to first base. Who knows? What we do know is that Devers on the Red Sox, at least for now, won't play first base. And maybe there's a way in the future they could have fixed that and like this spring training talk to him and give him to first base. Wasn't there a time when I remember him saying like, I want to play first base, but I don't want to play first base now. Like I want months to prepare or something. Do you remember that? Or we don't have that quote?
I don't have that quote on me, but I mean, I think it's fair to defend Devers. In November, the GM said, hey, we like Devers at third base. In February, right before spring training, they signed Bregman. Then Casas gets injured like, mid-May? And they're like, play first base now. And if you're Rafael Devers and you've put away your glove and it took you like probably 2 whole months to get over not playing in the field and suddenly the organization is telling you, get back on the field, it feels a lot like whiplash. Like, I get it.
But, okay, let's say that happens. And you're the Red Sox. And you know he does not going to play first base. And you know you got your third baseman. So you know this guy, Rafael Devers, he's a DH. And he's got 9 more years, $250 million in his contract. And he's just a DH. Would you not think that's a terrible contract and we want to get rid of this contract?
Oh, no, totally. If he's just a DH and he's owed, $26 million for the next 10? Is it still 10
I think it's 9 more years. $26 million for 9 years, something like that.
Then I completely understand feeling like that's a bad contract. But again, like, his defense was not like he couldn't throw it to first. He's not a good defensive third baseman, but he's not any worse than he was 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, most errors in MLB since coming up. Not great.
Not great.
But that's the Red Sox argument. That's what their perspective is. We know this is a bad contract because it's just DH. We got to get rid of this contract by any means necessary. But here's why everyone in the world fucking thinks that's so stupid. Because there's really no sign of this guy being bad anytime soon. He's only 28 years old. All right. He's never had a bad offensive season other than like 2020, which wasn't even a full season. Okay. And you just traded him, who was by far the best hitter on the team, and got nothing. Like, at the moment, literally, you got nothing in return for this. All right, none of the 4 players as of now are on the Major League roster. The odds of the Red Sox winning the World Series or even to make the playoffs this year just got way worse. And no one's going to disagree with that. I mean, the Red Sox wouldn't disagree with that. Their odds, their team is worse now than it was yesterday because they made this trade. Let's say the Red Sox are right. Let's say couple more good years for Devers, then he's fucking mid. In his 30s, he declines, and his contract is one of the worst in the league. Because it's true. If Devers is a league average hitter or below league average hitter, once that happens, that's the worst contract. That's a terrible contract. It's kind of just a question of when. Does that happen when he's 40? Maybe it never happens. Maybe it happens when he's 32. Then you're like, fuck, we got to pay this guy for 5 more years. Maybe it happens when he's 36 and you can afford it. But that's something that the Red Sox, a franchise like the Red Sox, that's a risk they should be willing to make, all right? They can afford it. They're the 3rd most valuable franchise in baseball. Like I was saying, they let Bogarts, JD Martinez go. They traded Mookie Betts because they didn't want to pay him. They traded Chris Sale because he was too expensive. Now they trade Rafael Devers because he thought it was being overpaid. To them, this is all good long-term thinking. But since winning the World Series in 2018, the Red Sox have basically torn their franchise apart from these trades because in return from Rafael Devers, Chris Sale, and Mookie Betts, for trading these three players, Rafael Devers, Chris Sale, Mookie Betts, they got Vaughn Grissom, Alex Verdugo, Connor Wong, Jeter Downs, Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, and two prospects. One of these players is still on the Red Sox. That is Connor Wong. He's got a negative .2 WAR. Okay, Grissom and Downs, prospects who never worked out, and Wong, a prospect who isn't working out. Then you got, who else did you got?
Alex Verdugo.
Verdugo, gone. He's on the Braves. Thank you. And then you got these four guys they just traded for. They're not on the team yet. That's terrible. That's from 2018. So Rafael Devers, Chris Sale, and Mookie Betts. You got basically nothing for them. 2004, they won the World Series. Their payroll, second highest in the league. 2007, they won the World Series. Their payroll, second highest in the league. 2013, they won the World Series. Their payroll, third highest in the year. Third highest in the league. In 2018, they won the World Series. They had the highest payroll in the league. Right now, they have the 13th highest payroll in the league. So that's the difference. That is the third most valuable franchise in the sport, and they rank 13th. They could have Mookie Betts, Chris Sale, and Rafael Devers on their team right now. All right? And they'd definitely be division favorites, maybe World Series favorites coming out of the AL. Definitely the favorites out of the AL to get to the World Series. Instead, they got Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, two prospects, and no Rafael Devers. I just think it's like a complete fucking... Like, they were one of the best teams in baseball history. 10th best record of all time in 2018. Didn't get challenged in the playoffs. And then just slowly, like, made all these... Every deal they've made since then is to, like, save money or, like, make some promise we're going to be good in the future. When it's like, you're the Red Sox.
They also... We forget that with the Mookie Betts trade, too, they watered down the trade by including David Price in the package because they didn't want to pay David Price anymore. So instead of getting a big package for one of the best players in baseball or just extending him, Mookie Betts is getting paid like $26 million a year.
Yeah.
That's really nothing. They watered down the trade package, and now they have nothing to show for it.
It's sad, bro, and that's why Red Sox fans are so fucking pissed. They're not used to this, dude. The post-2004 Red Sox were always just big spenders, big ballers. We're competing with the Yankees in payroll, and we are in the market for every big-name free agent. I don't know what changed with that thinking when they started trying to work like they're actually more like, I said the Rays earlier. They don't act like the Rays. They act like the Cubs, who's like another team that's like a massive market team, but who likes to keep it mid. They don't want to go out. They don't want to take these massive risks. But if you're a team and you're worth that much money, and that, look, those are the teams that should be taking risks. Like, you can afford to, for 2 good years of Rafael Devers, and you could win a World Series in the next 2 years. That's worst case scenario. In 2 years, Rafael Devers is an average hitter, and his contract is terrible. Like, a team like the Red Sox can afford that.
If they also were so pressed to get rid of Devers, they had so much time. Right now, they're on a hot streak, right? They're back in a playoffs position. They could have rode out Devers in this drama to the end of the season and then traded him for a better package, honestly.
They also, did you see the fucking, like right before this happened, the news article came out that like the Fenway workers are going on strike. Look that up. This whole thing is getting buried, bro. Maybe that was the whole point of this trade. I had a theory that, Devers was trying to unionize the Fenway workers. He didn't like how he was being treated. They probably got these concession guys doing hot dogs one day, fucking burgers the next day, switching positions. Devers like, that's not fair. Let's go on strike.
Imagine having a strike that's so bad that you would rather have a terrible trade be the main source of publicity.
Yep. But you know what, Red Sox fans? Dude, I would hate myself as a Red Sox fan.
I would be massacring Fenway Park.
Oh my God.
Fenway Park would no longer be the oldest stadium in baseball.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, I mean, even in 2 years, Devers is bad in 2 years. He's just an average hitter. And everyone's like, wow, the Giants are fucked with this contract. even if I'm a Red Sox fan, so like, all right, great. Like we avoided that contract, but like they're not like for the last 2 years, we just have been our hopes to win a World Series right now are gone. I don't see the Red Sox. At least, I mean, I could say it could happen. Listen, there's been worse teams to go to the World Series probably. The AL isn't that strong where like, yeah, the Red Sox could sneak in to a playoff spot. They're a half game back right now, make a run, get hot, and go to the World Series. But you're not confident in your chances. You're definitely not confident. If you're the Giants, you're happy. Like, this is great for the Giants, at least for now. I guess there's some concern what's going to happen in the long term with Devers, but that's always the concern. But for the Giants, this is great.
It's also just a kick in the throat to the players who are still on the team. Because it's like, what are we doing? We just got rid of the best hitter on the team.
Well, maybe they all hated him because he wouldn't change positions.
And now they're just going to go on this incredible run because they're happy now.
But the truth is like coming out of Boston, you would have heard that by now. Like like Devers' issues in the clubhouse was always with the front office. Like I don't think his teammates ever had any issue. You would have definitely heard that if Bregman was like, "You're being selfish. Play first base, dude." And Devers like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. They made a promise." And then Tristan Casas was like, "Dude, just do it for the team, man. Team meeting. Rafael's being a jerk." We would have heard that come out by now. So, yeah, if you're a Red Sox fan, you're thinking about jumping off a bridge right now. I mean, my thoughts and prayers are with Jared Carrabis' stepchildren at the moment because, I mean, I'm sure he's probably tasked with driving him to school or something. And that's got to be a terrible ride if you're a third grader going to your elementary school in Saugus, Massachusetts. That kiss and ride line right now in the Boston greater area. A lot of fucking road rage.
I'm not sure it's safe to be on the road in anywhere in New England.
No. But in San Francisco, you're feeling good. I mean, this is a great move for San Francisco. I mean, especially for this year. Goes without saying, you add one of the best hitters in the league to your team on a team that is overachieving like some shit. Right now, they're 2 games behind the Dodgers. They just had their bloody rivalry match in LA. Didn't have the same punch as the Padres series. I'll tell you that much, Max Muncy, but still a good series. They lose 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers, but hey, you get Rafael Devers at the end of it. You're in second place, 2 games back. And maybe the Dodgers felt a little bit of pressure when they saw Devers sign with their rivals over there. They thought, uh-oh, now they're adding pieces. We lose another pitcher a week. What are we going to do? And they make the decision to say, Shohei Ohtani, you're taking the mound. They dropped this bomb on us. This is, I mean, on par with the Devers bomb. I mean, I was more shocked to see Shohei pitch tomorrow than I was the Devers trade.
Really?
Literally, yes. Dude, you want even a funny story, bro? I was in the gym. You know me, I'm always in the gym. And I was on the treadmill, bro. I was getting a little sweat in before the massive lift. And Mitchell texts me, Shohei's pitching tomorrow. I go, what the fuck? Out loud. This guy next to me starts looking at me and I just start laughing. I'm like, you have no idea what I just learned. Shohei Ohtani is pitching today. A 10 p.m. game against the Padres, bro. I mean,
Not their rival.
Not the real rival, but hey, their second rival. Against the Padres at home, 10 p.m. start. This is heaven for me, dude. This morning I woke up all crabby, bro, because I slept like 2 hours, and I have to go into an office and do work. You know, and I'm so spoiled. I'm just not used to going anywhere to do any work. You know, I just wake up and do work at my apartment, and it's mad chill, and I can be chill. And I'm like, oh, I have to do traffic like a little pussy. This sucks. And then I remember Shohei's pitching tonight. I was like, what? I got pumped instantly, dude.
I woke up. I hate watching the Dodgers, honestly. It makes me mad and sad. But I can't wait to watch the Dodgers tonight.
Dude, it's like having a new favorite team. For me, I mean, now that the Braves they want to fucking lose 10-1 to the Rockies, all right, fine. I'll just like Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is my new favorite baseball team in the league. So we'll see what that goes on with Ohtani. But, like, this is the most Ohtani move ever. The guy can just moves in silence. Like, no one fucking expected it. I mean, I know. I said there's no way coming up before the All-Star break. I said no way. Here we are. Mitchell said no way he's pitching again.
I didn't think he could. He's basically doing a rehab start tonight against a major league team.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way ramping up, having to pitch against players in a sim game and then like throwing. I was like, there's no way. But what I didn't realize, obviously, is that you can just have a rehab start against an MLB team.
You owed the Shohei's an apology, Mitchell. You said he's not going to pitch
I would
again.
love to see Shohei face to face.
You and Foolish Baseball, you guys, you fucking jerks, saying Ohtani can't do it. He can't come back. He can't pitch. How are you going to rehab in the middle of the season? Shohei does whatever the fuck he wants. Okay, because I was reading this tweet that you put in here. This is from the Dodgers. So the Dodgers starting now, rather than facing hitters and getting more volume as originally thought, in a sense, throwing a sim game, then cooling down, then having to ramp back up to DH in game was more taxing on his body than starting that same game. So basically they're saying, like, if this guy's going to throw like practice games in the middle of the day and ramp up to like pitch basically a MLB start, but again, in practice, that's just as much effort as if you just threw like 40 pitches in a real game. So he's basically doing rehab starts in real games because it's going to be the same. That's hilarious, dude. He's just doing rehab starts in the middle of a regular season game against your rival, against the division rival.
He's not doing it against the Quad A Rockies. He's doing it against a really good Padres team.
Yeah. And since he doesn't have to leave a game, like he's just going to be the DH. He's going to be rehabbing and DHing in the regular game. The Dodgers figure they might as well let him appear in a game that counts. Oh, where's the quote I saw? That it's not in here, but Roberts was basically saying like Ohtani, like he said he was healthy and he really wanted to pitch. So we decided that we would let him pitch because he really wanted to pitch. And that's what I said from the get-go. This guy wants to pitch. The Dodgers can't tell him shit. And that's what's happening right now. I don't know if the Dodgers are 100% comfortable letting this guy throw real major league innings right now, but if Ohtani and his team wants to do it and they can justify it, then fuck, what are the Dodgers going to say? I can't wait to see it. A lot of great series. I mean, this series right with the Padres is going to be lit. Dodgers back-to-back with the Padres. And then you got Devers playing the Red Sox next weekend on Friday. That's cool.
I don't normally watch West Coast games. I'm not like Joey. I already have 2 West Coast games circled for this week. I'm excited for both of them.
Yeah, I'm going to lose so much money betting on Ohtani to like break the strikeout record tonight, but you know, it's worth it. Go Ohtani. But fuck, what else, man? What was the series of the weekend? Every team got swept this weekend. You want to know the sweeps? The A's. The A's swept the Royals. If you're the Royals, what the fuck, dude? You suck dick still. The AL Central in general, the AL Central is on a combined 20-game losing streak. AL Central fans, to the AL Central fans, I just love the idea of I'm a fan of the AL Central.
Shout out to the Tigers, the only team not to get swept.
I don't even like the Tigers. I like all the Central teams, you know, and this is a division that's been shit on, and now this year we're good, and I can feel proud of it. But not anymore. You lost 20 games in a row, the AL Central. The Royals, they fell off. Got swept by the A's. You can't get swept by the A's. I'm sorry. If you want to be a competitive baseball team, I know they're not the A's of a few years ago, but they're still the A's. Still have a negative 100-plus run differential, which is, let me tell you, spoiler alert, not good. And you get swept by the A's if you're the Royals and you want to win the division or make the playoffs. Not good, man. That offense is terrible. Even with Jack Caglione, who hasn't been hitting great, but you can't blame him. He's just a rook. But you thought Jack Caglione was going to get the power pop in the lineup. Has not, dude. They can't hit.
On fantasy, if I need to pick up a starting pitcher and I see that this no-name is facing the Royals, I'm picking that dude up.
Yeah. And they hurt. I mean, Cole Reagans is on the IL. That hurts. Chris Bubic, best pitcher in baseball. Chris Bubic has been lights out, but Lorenzen not so much. Like I said, going into this year, man, the Royals last year surprised everybody, but they did it by having the best starting staff. So if they don't have the best starting staff this year, which, come on, what are the odds they're going to do it back-to-back? They could be in some trouble if that offense doesn't take a step forward. And right now, they look like they're in some trouble despite having the 5th best ERA amongst starting pitches. They've lost like 8 out of their last 9. It looks bad for them. Who else got swept? The Mets. You're on the hot seat. All of a sudden, the Phillies are back on the Mets' ass, dude. They got swept by the Rays. Apologize to the Rays. We do not talk about the Rays. You know why. They're a bunch of NPCs. Apologize to Rays fans, but you would agree with that. You guys start NPCs. No big deal. They're the best NPCs in the league. The Rays, since May 20th, best record in baseball. Thank you very much. Now they're in second place, 3.5 games back of the Yankees. Are the Yankees starting to get scared of the Rays? I mean, they swept the Mets.
I mean, the Yankees just got a massive win and a loss. But with the Rays, it's just like, yeah, you can count on the Rays every year to have a bunch of guys you've never heard of put up great seasons. I'm looking at Fangraphs right now, and like I know these names, but I don't know what these guys look like.
In a month or two, if the Rays are still playing at this pace, we will start to know these names. We will know Jake Magnum style. Upa Magnum style. Upa and Jake Magnum style. We're going to work on that. It's going to be a household name. He's been great for the Rays so far. Guys like Jonathan Aranda has been tearing the cover off the ball for the Rays. Who are the best players in the Rays right now? I genuinely don't know.
Aranda is the best player by WAR position players. Then Junior Camareno. I don't know what position Camareno plays.
No
Is
idea.
he a third baseman? Is he a catcher?
I mean,
Is he a second baseman? I have no idea.
The Rays don't have positions.
And then pitchers Drew Rasmussen, do you know that name, is leading the team in WAR. Ryan Pepio. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's second in pitching WAR. Jose Caballero is doing well. Is this Brandon Lau? This is Lau, right?
Why are you asking me? You're the podcast. Is this Brandon Lau? Who else would it be? Oh, Josh Lowe. Josh Lowe and that's why they got two Laus. Josh Lowe, Brandon Lau.
Yeah.
Are they?
Brandon is the Lau though.
Are they related?
No. Josh Lowe is related to Nationals first baseman Nathaniel Lowe.
There's too many.
But Brandon Lau is not related to either of them.
Low key, there's too many Laus. We got two Laus on the same team. They're not even related. And then there's a different Lowe. One of them's Lowe, one of them's Lau, but they're spelled the same. But I'm saying, like, could you get more NPC than that? You got two Laus on the team. One of them's Lowe, one of them's Lau. No one knows the fucking difference. And one of them's been on the franchise for like 8 years.
I can't believe Brandon Lau has been able to be on the same team, the Rays. He's probably one of the longest tenured Rays in the history of the franchise. He's probably up there with Longoria.
Well, shout out to the Rays, man. They get it done. They sweep the Mets. And the Mets lose Senga, which fucking sucks for them. But Senga's out for 5 weeks?
Oh, God.
I put it in here with the hammy, bro.
People were saying on the last podcast that you jinxed Senga because you gave him the best pitcher in baseball distinction.
Oh, I'm sorry, Senga. Kodai Senga hamstring at least 5 weeks, which hurts, man, because come on, he was the best pitcher in baseball. I jinxed his ass. Sorry, Mets fans, but I'm really not. But I don't root for injuries, and I'm praying for Senga and the Mets. With the and then the Phillies sweep the Blue Jays. So now the Phillies are 2.5 games back, and now let's tune into Phillies Sports Talk Radio. What do they got to say about it?
Can't with this fucking team anymore, man. You're making me mad. We just lost to the Pirates. They're saying on Twitter, they own us. They run Pennsylvania. We gotta get our shit together, bro. This is outrageous. This is bullshit, bro. Fuck this, dog.
So this is the second time this year that we've covered the Phillies fan base totally losing their shit and wanting to burn down Wawas, only to turn around and the team answers immediately, gets on a hot streak. So
I had this circled on Friday. I was like, nice. Really hot Blue Jays team playing a really cold Phillies team. And then, what the fuck? Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays, they finally come down to earth, Mitchell. Negative 12 run differential for the Blue Jays, and they're 5 games above 500. Are they frauds?
They might be frauds.
Only time will tell. I got faith in the Blue Jays. You can't trust run differential. I mean, I tweeted it yesterday. The Braves had a better run differential going into yesterday than the Padres. Who would have thought that? That didn't last long. We lost by 10 runs to the fucking Rockies. There are some good things going on in the Braves world, though. Acuna has been unbelievable. Acuna, I got some numbers right now. So in his 20 games back, he's got an OPS over 1,100. Since his return from injury, the only player with a better OPS than Acuna is Aaron Judge. So he's playing at MVP level caliber. Unfortunately, since he's come back, our record is like still dog shit, which is annoying. But he's on pace for 36 home runs and 8.3 WAR. And he's missed over a month and a half, 2 months.
Close to 2. No, over 2, I think.
And he's wearing a knee pad, which I love, dude. I love his knee pad because it's like not even a knee brace. It's literally like a Tony Hawk knee pad, like he's about to do a 900 on a half pipe. Acuna's rocking with it. I'd love to see little leaguers across the world just start rocking knee pads like that. Stole a base, too. And then Strider. Strider comes out against the Rockies and looks like the old Strider. I've never seen Strider. I haven't seen Strider look like this in forever. 6 innings, 3 hits, 13 strikeouts for Strider on 87 pitches, and his velocity was up a whole mile per hour on everything. He only threw fastball and slider that game. He threw like 2 curveballs. Well, like that's a vintage slider. Strider. Vintage slider for a vintage Strider. Fastball slider. Can't hit it. Whiff percentage on the year on the fastball is 15%. On Saturday, it was 30%. His whiff percentage on slider is 55%. On Saturday, it was 75%. First 10 strikeout games since September 19, 2023. Most strikeouts for Strider since July 2023 for Spencer Strider. And that was a very encouraging sign.
I went into that game thinking if Strider can't even beat the Rockies, he's cooked.
Yeah.
And I left that watching that game thinking, oh, he's so back. He's so back.
And you know what kind of ruined it for me the next day? Is Grant Holmes. 15 strikeouts the next day, Grant Holmes. So then I'm like, okay, well, 13 strikeouts for Strider. Is that Grant Holmes with 15 fucking strikeouts?
The Rockies, it's like the Rockies have only struck out that many times, 2 or 3 times this year. So I'm still going to say that Strider's start was legit.
I mean, how the Braves, this guy Grant Holmes strikes out 15 guys in 6 innings, 6 1/3.
6 1/3.
And they still lose by 10 runs to the Rockies. That's crazy. But can't win every game, Mitchell. We won the series.
Just got to win the series.
2 series in a row for the Braves, and we're going to a series against the Mets. Which, we win a series against the Mets.
Back.
We're back. Who else got swept, dude? I always see, I'm always half full, but who swept somebody? Who can we be excited about right now?
The Red Sox, they swept the Yankees. I think they might be back.
Red Sox are hot. Like I said, we opened for it. They're hot. 8 out of their last 9, half game back right now of a wild card spot, I believe. The Mariners came back. They swept the Guardians. The Mariners needed that. Rangers swept the White Sox. They needed that, but I won't even count it. It's the White Sox. No offense. The Marlins sweep the Nationals. The Nationals get swept by the Marlins, and the manager comes out and says, quote, "It's not the coaching. It's not on coaching. It's never on coaching," which is a really bad quote coming out from the manager, because if you think about it, if you set that as a precedent, you can't do anything wrong. No Kings protest, am I right? Come on, don't get political. Davey Martinez, no Kings, bro. Coaching can be the problem. Funny quote. Well, you got any thoughts on that?
I just think it's
never the coach's fault.
Bad.
That's rich coming from a coach.
Because Davey Martinez has basically had job security because he won a championship in 2019. And they have some legitimately good players. So, I don't know. If I'm in that clubhouse and Davey Martinez says that, I'm turning my back on Davey.
Yeah, the Nats have an exciting future right now, but they're playing since June. They're 2 and whatever. I mean, look up their record since the start of June. And it's not against good teams. So they just lost. They just got swept by Miami, swept by the Mets. Mets are a good team. They lost 2 out of 3 to Texas, which hasn't been a good team, and the Cubs, which is a good team. But, you get swept by the Marlins. You don't have an excuse. I don't care.
This month, they are 2-11.
Yeah, but cannot blame the coaches.
Can't blame the coaches, even though their hitting coach kind of sucks.
To be fair to Davey, though, he was referring to his coaches. So it wasn't like he was saying you can't. It wasn't like, I think it sounds like he's saying you can't blame the coach. Like, you can't blame the manager. He's saying you can't blame the coaches. He's saying, don't blame my hitting, my base running coaches, my pitching coaches, whatever. The players need to play better. The manager, and he's not really saying, he never said you can't blame the manager. That's how I'm looking at it. He never said you can't blame the manager.
But he also said you can blame the players.
Blame the players, dude. Blame the freaking players. They got to have some personal responsibility. But yeah, I don't know. Is he gonna survive the rebuild? They stuck through the rebuild. But if they don't win, if they finish the season poorly, I can see them firing Davey Martinez before next year. A lot of people in Washington think the heart attack ruined him. He had a heart attack in the World Series. And ever since then, he hasn't been able to get mad at the umpire and shit. Or he's worried he's going to have another heart attack, so he's gun shy and he's lost the fire. I don't think that's true, but that is a funny narrative and kind of a fucking shitty thing to think and say, so I'm going to say it. Dave Martinez is in the same sense the heart attack. Can we cut that part? I'm just kidding. Don't cut that part. We can't even.
We can't cut it. Jack's out of town.
We're way past our capacity right now. Astros sweep the Twins. Astros are quietly the best team in baseball again.
2 walk-offs, too.
2 walk-offs for them. They won 5 in a row. But, I mean, Mariners finally got hot, so, like, they didn't really gain anything. But 4.5 games back, 4.5 up. Didn't Paredes get hurt? Am I making that up? Because that broke my heart if he did. Because Paredes is one of our favorite players. A podcast doesn't exist history based on him only hitting fly balls to left field and being a beast doing it. But I want to say he got hurt.
Yeah, hamstring injury. He hit his first home run that was not into the... I think the exact quote was, he hit the furthest homer towards center.
Farthest.
Of his career. Like, closest to center field. It was still a pull ball.
Well, shout out to Paredes. That's what they knew. They're like, as soon as they saw him not pull a ball, they're like, bro, you got to go in the Phantom IL. We can't hate having this.
Your hamstring, is it okay?
Don't even think about trying to take the ball the other way, motherfucker. We got you for one reason only.
It's not even close to center either. This ball that he hit a home run to is still, like, parallel to the shortstop.
We also had some players call other players pussies. That's always fun. We have a player on the record calling another player a fucking pussy. Quote, he's a fucking pussy. I'm not going to say no names. He knows who he is. And then they're like, are you talking about Rhys Hoskins? And then he's like, yeah, Rhys Hoskins was talking shit. I'm not going to say any names, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. That is the words of William Contreras, who, again, on the record, said he's a fucking pussy, but off the record because he won't say who he's talking about. I'll break the news for you right now. He's talking about Rhys Hoskins of the Milwaukee Brewers because the Cardinals and Brewers are in a fight right now. So it happened here. There was a collision at first base. William Contreras is not a first baseman by nature, but he's playing first base now because they don't want to be catcher. And he makes a play at first and steps right in front of this guy. He was definitely in the wrong here. He gets run over at first, but kind of just like loses where he is and for some reason forgets there's a runner coming and kind of gets right in his way and gets knocked over. He exchanges words with the Brewers dugout because they're like, bro, you're in our guy's way. Start talking a little smack. Rhys Hoskins is over there. He's a veteran first baseman, so he knows how to play first base. So he's in the dugout telling this guy, that's not how you play first base. Take it from me. I'm a first baseman. But hey, from first baseman to first baseman, there's a way to go about first base advice. There's a way not to go about first base advice. William Contreras thought that was bad first base advice. And then Hoskins gets hit by a pitch. Now that's when the tempers start to flare a little bit. I'm not sure that one was on purpose, but he does get hit with the pitch after this. Contreras comes up and he gets hit by a pitch. Does a little Castellanos move where he goes, pick up the ball, gets it back to him, but he takes his base. Doesn't seem like there's a problem, but that seemed like pretty intentional. Then Contreras homers later in the game, stares down the Brewers bench as he rounds first base. So Contreras wants all the smoke. He gets to first base and he starts talking to Rhys Hoskins, but Hoskins won't entertain it. Hoskins kind of stonewalls him a little bit. And that was kind of Contreras' issue, is that he pulls the famous card. Anytime you're in a fight with a guy, this is the line that works. You won't say that to my face. You'll only talk shit when I'm not close to you. Now I'm right next to you, Rhys Hoskins, and you won't say anything. So now you're a, quote, fucking pussy. Where do you fall on this, Mitch? Who's the pussy here?
My whole thing is I just wonder which side William Contreras is taking. Is he taking his teammate's side, or is he taking his brother's side?
Why would he? Why does Rhys Hoskins have beef with William?
I mean, William is his teammate. Wilson is the Cardinals' first baseman.
So you're saying
I'm wondering, does William back his teammate?
Oh, William. I got mixed up there.
William is the Brewers' catcher.
There's 2 Contrerases, by the way, for listeners who aren't as familiar with this.
And I take fault. I really don't like how their parents named them Wilson and William. Wilson with 2 L's. But I'm wondering, William's a team player. Is he taking Hoskins' side, or is he a family guy and he's taking Wilson's side?
It's tough. And then you also got catchers kind of have catchers back. So you got the catcher fraternity going on, even though Wilson is at first base. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't have an answer for you on that one. But I do think it's funny anytime someone calls someone else a pussy. And these two teams are our rivals. I mean, this is division rivals. These are two, like, I don't know how you would classify them above the Mendoza line, but like they're, I don't think there's a world where the Cardinals and Brewers make the playoffs this year at the same time. I think it's going to be one or the other, maybe neither of them.
Yeah,
but
probably neither. I mean, the NL West and the Phillies are doing quite well. So for the Cardinals or the Brewers to make it, they're going to have to step it up. And they went pretty much deadlocked. I mean, the Cardinals kind of blew this series. They were on a nice little roll before playing the Blue Jays, got swept by the Blue Jays, went to Milwaukee, lost 3 out of 4.
Who do you think is better, Brewers or Cardinals?
I'm looking at the Cardinals' 9-game winning streak as kind of a fluke. Like, you
Mhm.
bank those wins. It is 9 wins. No one can take those away from you. But, like, they're a below 500 team. Before that 9-game winning streak, they're a below 500 team. After that winning streak, they're losing to teams they probably should beat.
Yeah, and they're also a team where, like, as an organization, the Cardinals they want to sell. They want to get rid of Arenado more than anything. They want to get rid of Helsley and start that rebuild process because their championship window has definitely closed. Because, you got Arenado, you got Goldschmidt, you added all those guys. You added a bunch of pitchers a few years ago. Like, they were kind of trying to compete, for the Central. That's competing for the Central. This is our window. Goldschmidt's gone. A lot of those guys regress. Arenado's past his prime. It's time to look for the future. Then they won 9 in a row, and they're like, oh, shit, the Cardinals are hot. Fans got excited, but I think the front office saw that like, oh, no. Oh, no. We do not want to have to. Because, if they're 2 games above 500, I think if the deadline was tomorrow, they're still selling. Even though they have
2 games above 500, you think they're selling?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. The Cardinals, where they are as an organization, I think for sure. I mean, other teams wouldn't. Like, the Braves definitely wouldn't. But I just think because their window's closed.
I think optically, though, that looks terrible.
Yeah, they're going to have, but that's what I'm saying. That's why they want to lose. Optically, it's going to look terrible anytime you sell, usually, unless your team's way out of it. But the way the Cardinals and the Central teams operate, I think they're looking for any excuse to sell. And they're going to get it now. If they keep playing like this, 3-7 over the last 10 games. Stick in there, Cardinals fans. At least you can say Rhys Hoskins is a fucking pussy. Which I don't agree with. He did spike his bat on the Braves. That was disrespectful. And on Baseball's Dead, we did an interview and his wife was in the room and she was typing and ruining the recording because she was typing so loud. And they blamed it on me and they thought it was me and they muted me in the whole podcast. So that's a little behind the curtain.
And that's why Joey has his own podcast.
Yeah, because of Rhys Hoskins' wife. Not her fault, but it was the podcast. It was Jake who thought it was me and he muted me. And then I tried to ask questions. I couldn't. I was muted because I thought I was typing so loud. I don't fucking type in the middle of podcasts. I have respect. Other people, they may not, but I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not going to say names. I'm not saying names. Rhys Hoskins' wife. Moving on. Anything else you want to cover in this great weekend of games? Any other teams? Anything stick off the page for you, Mitch?
I was so excited to talk about Hunter Dobbins.
Yeah, I know.
And now the whole Red Sox story is kind of just Devers.
Because that was a hilarious story. We should talk about Hunter Dobbins because I know that totally overshadowed it. It would have been ridiculous to start the podcast talking about Hunter Dobbins and this guy's fake story that his dad lied to him about and his beef with the Red Sox or the Yankees or whatever. But this pitcher for the Red Sox, Hunter Dobbins, he comes out before the Yankee series, the first Yankee series. And what does he say specifically?
He said if the Yankees were the only team offered me a contract, I'd retire.
He basically came out strong and being like, fuck the Yankees. I'm a Red Sox guy. But then he used his dad as kind of the logic behind that. And I want to find the actual quotes because I know we had this in here, but then the Devers stuff totally just erased it. So I guess, did we delete this shit? No, I didn't.
It might be on a different doc. Yeah, but he said if the Yankees were the last team to give me a contract, I'd retire. And that was before his first start against the Yankees. He then said something about his dad being drafted twice by the Yankees, getting traded. he's always been a Red Sox fan, even though he's from Texas, and his dad is part of the reason why. He did make sure to say that everybody but Andy Pettitte, because Andy Pettitte was close friends with his dad, according to Dobbins' dad.
Yeah, so he comes out and says he hates the Yankees, and like Mitchell said, his dad was drafted by the Yankees twice, then traded by the Yankees to the Diamondbacks, and that the only guy that his dad was good friends with Andy Pettitte. And then these assholes in the Yankees, assholes at the New York Post are just like, can't let this guy live. Like, and just does this whole investigation on this guy and his dad, and come back and have and interviewed all these guys on the Red Sox or the Yankees organization, asked anybody, and nobody has any recollection of this guy, his dad, ever playing for him. There's no proof that he ever got drafted by the Yankees. He never did get drafted by the Yankees. They asked Andy Pettitte if he knew this guy. He said, I don't know this guy. So
I've
basically,
never heard of a Lance Dobbins.
So basically, and it's really kind of a sad story. And I feel really bad for this kid because it sounds like his dad just told him a bunch of stories and he believed him because he's his dad and he's his hero. There goes my hero.
Yeah,
Said it out loud on into the media and then got fact checked. Turns out his dad lied to him the whole time.
Dobbins said at the end of the day, I don't go and fact check my dad or anything like that. Which, fair. Like, if my dad told me something, I wouldn't be like, oh, I got to go research that out.
I don't know, dude. I think it's pretty easy to look up baseball reference. Well, I look at my dad's baseball reference page. Weird. Doesn't say anything about the Yankees. Like, it's so obvious to fact check that.
It's weird. He said Andy Pettitte's a close friend, but I've never met him in my life.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's a tough way, though, to find out your dad is a loser.
Yeah. An awkward Father's Day, too. No, I didn't call him a loser, Mitchell. Jesus Christ. You know, we've all been caught in a lie before. You never lied about something, got caught?
I mean, do you not? If you're a 50-year-old dad, your son's really good at baseball, and you're just like, well, I got drafted by the Yankees. I got drafted by the Yankees, and just like, what's the point of
how else is your son going to respect you? You never made it to the big?
Well, now your son thinks you're a loser, and he can't even say it.
Look, if you've never been caught in a lie, that means you're not lying enough, and you should lie more and use it to your advantage, because you can get people really thinking you're a cool guy.
Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, like when you told me you caught a ball in the fucking Nats game. I know that was a lie. In the air? Yeah, right, bro. You're not Zach Hampel. If I never done it, if I can't do it, you can't do it. That's probably how he feels too. You know, it's a little embarrassing. Like your son's is like going to the MLB and stuff. He's like big deal, and you're like, well, you know, I was good too. You got to come up with some stories. I feel bad for him, but he did have a great start against the Yankees.
I thought he was gonna get toasted.
Yeah, I bet money that he was gonna get shit on. It was like the media storm. The guy wasn't ready for it. No one heard of Hunter Dobbins. Now, the only reason anyone knows him is because his dad lied to him. And then he goes to New York. No, I guess it's at Boston. Has to face the rival Yankees. Goes in 6 innings, 1 run or something. What did he do?
I think it was no runs. 6 innings, no runs. Struck out Judge twice. Only allowed 3 base runners.
There you go, Hunter Dobbins. That's another thing that this overshadowed. This Judge went like 0 for 9 in the series. Did terrible.
He said, I blame myself for the series loss.
Well, yeah, and that's good accountability. But I don't want to make a bigger deal of this than it has to be. But like, every time something like this happens, and like this is a big series, obviously a rivalry series in Fenway, which they're talking shit to Judge. Like, does he choke in the big moment every single time he has an opportunity to? Kind of seems like it. I haven't done the research to back that up, but going back to last year's playoffs, I remember when he got stuck at like 61 home runs for a while. People were thinking, is the pressure getting to you? Now we got another example of him just like best hitter in baseball turning into the worst hitter in baseball in a big series. Hey, it happens. But Judge is on notice for choke artist of the century. Because that conversation is going to start happening again. Just wait till the playoffs. I mean, Judge is on choke watch 24/7.
He comes up 7th inning. It's a 1-run game. He's always on choke watch.
He's on choke watch. He leads the league in every single category, and he's by far the best player in the league. So it gets overshadowed because you can choke in big moments. If you have an OPS of 1,200, if you lead the league in WAR, runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS plus, ROBA, R bat plus, total bases, and intentional walks, you can have a bad series. People aren't going to make it a big deal. Keep do it in the playoffs, though. I'm putting Judge on choke watch. I'm early on it. And a lot of pressure on Judge now. Ohtani's coming back pitching. Are you the best player in baseball anymore?
Do you think Judge is going to watch tonight's game being like, come on, allow a homer, allow a homer?
I think so, a little bit. I think they have to do that. I know for Ohtani, as good of a guy he seems, I know he looks at Judge, does well, and says, fuck, I need to be better than him. And I'm sure.
Yeah, people think Ohtani's like a nice, cute guy. No, he's seething. If anyone's doing better than him, he's figuring out a way. He saw Acuna steal 70 bases in a year, go 40-70. He was like, I got to go 50-50.
He sabotaged Mike Trout.
I got to go 50-50.
A lot of Angels fans don't think that. Think that Trout got injured because Ohtani was doing some shit to him to try to take all the shine. But, since Mike Trout got back from injury, you know what his numbers are?
On fire.
Pretty good. He's batting .302. Like he's only hit 2 home runs since then, which is not bad. 15 games. 2 home runs. That's still a pretty good pace, but not the pace he was at. But it's the complete opposite. He's batting .302 with an .821 OPS.
He doing an anti-Joey Votto, where instead of going for power, he's a slap hitter?
I don't know, maybe. Because, before he got injured, it was only home runs and batting under 200. Since getting back, it's batting over 300 and a lot less power. And the results are better. So shout out to Mike Trout. We haven't forgot about you, buddy. The Angels before this weekend got into second place. Did you see that? The Angels were in second place going into this weekend.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, second place. It's like the Angels. You can't let them go. It's just you look back. Oh fuck, the Angels could be back. Then they get swept too. I think. Who they get swept? They got swept by the Orioles.
Oh.
They got swept by the Orioles, man. The big bad Orioles, who now have a better record than the Athletics. Don't sleep on my O's. Better record than the Pirates. Same record as the Nationals. So the Orioles, even though after a sweep, they're playing a lot better baseball, but there is a big hole to come back from. I do want to shout out to Jackson Holliday, though. Maybe I think I just hate you, dude. Every time you have a take that a player is washed or bad, I'm like, let's check back in on Jackson Holliday. Anytime I can make Mitchell's take look bad, I will take that opportunity. Jackson Holliday is up to a 730 OPS. Not amazing, but hey, since May, do you know Jackson Holliday's numbers?
Isn't like a 120 WRC plus?
Very good. Very good player. Very good player. They should probably trade him.
All right, so I'm going to put a player on washed lists, so Joey has no choice but to follow this guy. Santiago Espinal is washed.
Okay.
Have fun watching Red games.
Yeah, I haven't tuned into a lot of Red games lately, but it's Ellie De La Cruz hit 4 home runs in 4 games.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to trade Cruz.
Reds beat the Tigers in this series. Congrats to the Tigers for being the only AL Central team to not get swept, but it was close.
Hey, are the Reds back? Do you think the Reds are better than the Cardinals?
Honestly, the Brewers, Cardinals, and Reds are very interchangeable.
Very, yeah. They don't call it the... never mind. I was going to make a joke about them being mid-division, but they've had enough. All right, well, other than that, man, I think we could wrap it up. Let's get to some questions. Do we have questions? We're all over in this document.
Yeah, well, baseball doesn't exist. 1 million subs. How you feeling?
1 million subs, man. It's crazy. I feel like just yesterday we only had 999,000. Next day you got 1 million, and everything changes.
Everything changes. You're now up there.
Yeah, everyone wants to do interviews, the posts. They want me to come speak to Congress. They want me to talk to, kids and elementary schools. It's a lot, but with 1 million subs comes a lot of responsibility, Mitchell. And I don't take it for granted. Thank you for everybody who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Or unsubscribe so we can hit it again. How sick would that be? Who hits 1 million twice? Very few people. Anyone can do it once. You hit it twice. So I would say it would be nice. Do what you want. Unsubscribe, then resubscribe in a couple weeks.
I think it would be cooler to get 1 million subs on the podcast doesn't exist channel.
Yeah, that's going to take a while.
We're only like a tenth of the way there.
Yeah, we got 25,000.
Less than a tenth.
Almost 25,000 on the podcast, which is pretty good. So if you haven't subscribed to the podcast on YouTube, go ahead, man. We're really trying to make a point here that we can get the most subscribers than anything. Because what else matters in life than YouTube subscribers? Okay, I got to go like talk to my family and shit. I went to Father's Day. My dad's gonna look me in the eye and say, "You don't even have a 50,000 subs yet on the podcast channel?
Get out of my house.
You're disappointing me, son." And I say, "I'm sorry, Dad. I'll do better."
Is that the lore? The only reason you made this channel was to get your dad's approval?
Yeah. My dad was very disappointed when I turned 21 and I didn't have a YouTube channel yet because he's just, you know how dads are. They love YouTube channels and they love YouTubers. So we're trying to get to 100K for Dad. Who do you think will win the World Series? Brad Budd, great question. If I had to pick who's going to win the World Series, I'd say Dodgers. But we don't know for sure. But now, would it be the Dodgers? I'm not going to pick the Dodgers to win the World Series because of the injuries. And I think if the playoffs started today with what was going on with the Dodgers, I don't think they win the World Series. I don't think they overcome all those pitching injuries. With Shohei back, Shohei at full strength, that's a different story. But Shohei pitched 40 pitches, which I'm assuming today will be like 2 innings max. I don't think so. Right now, if we went into the playoffs right now, I would probably put my faith in the Phillies.
Whoa.
I think they're most complete team because they have a great starting pitching staff. I know Bryce Harper's injured, so that kind of contradicts what I just said because you have to factor it in. I don't think the Phillies win shit without Bryce Harper. Not only is he their best hitter, but he's like the spark plug of the team. But yeah, I'd go Phillies or Mets, honestly, over the Dodgers right now, just because I think they're more complete teams with less injuries, and the Dodgers would have to just obviously the best lineup in the league, but I don't think they can overcome all those pitching injuries. By the time the playoffs start, I think they'll be in a lot better shape. So that would be I know it's kind of a cop-out, but the real answer is the Dodgers are the most likely team to win the World Series.
Yeah, I feel like when you have 25% odds to win the World Series and it's only June, you're probably going to win the World Series.
But it's interesting because it's like they're going to have to go through the playoffs in the National League is going to be so cutthroat. Like the Dodgers are going to have to beat the Padres or the Giants, the Phillies, the Mets, the Cubs. Like they're going to have to go through at least 2 of those teams, which are all like complete fucking teams. The AL doesn't have that many complete teams. Like the most complete team in the AL, Tigers, Yankees.
The Tigers are sneaky complete because you don't have a lot of star power on either side. I mean, Screwball, obviously, but like, I think if a casual fan is asked name one good hitter on the Tigers, they wouldn't know who it is.
Yeah.
Like people, when they hear the name Riley Green, probably think of the singer before the outfielder.
Yeah, the singer. Who the fuck is Riley Green? The singer?
Outside of the baseball world, I feel like no one knows who Riley Green is.
Okay.
The outfielder.
Who's the singer?
Riley Green.
What do they sing about?
No idea.
Riley Green, the singer.
Riley Green is spelled without the E, the singer.
Let's check out Riley Green. Ooh. Riley Green meets Riley Green. So that's how you know about this.
Yeah.
You had no idea who Riley Green was until 3 days ago when MLB.com wrote an article about Riley Green.
No, give me a little credit.
People outside the baseball world have no idea who Riley Green is. I'd say no one knows who fucking Riley Green is.
He was doing concerts at the baseball stadiums. I think that's decent enough.
Country singer from Jacksonville, Alabama, Riley Green.
He's a Jonathan with an H.
Good looking guy. This guy looks like he could throw a little bit too. Jacked. Wow. Keep him away from your wives and girlfriends. Hide him. This guy's a heartthrob. I could see why MLB wants him performing at the stadium. Not as good as Natasha Bedingfield. I'll say it. But you know him from his hit song, There Was This Girl, and I Wish Grandpa's Never Died.
Are you doing a Casey Kasem impression?
Yeah. You keep just referencing people I know. Who the fuck is Casey Kasem?
You don't know Casey Kasem, the dude who would be like on the radios. He got syndicated, so I heard it growing up, but he had a very iconic voice. He also played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo.
Okay. Shout out to Casey.
Comment if you know who Casey Kasem is, because I feel like he's a common knowledge.
You know him. Kermal Abin Kasem was a Lebanese-American actor, producer, radio personality, and vocal artist. He's known for hosting the syndicated radio countdown show, American Top 40, and creating the voice of Shaggy Rogers and Scooby-Doo. They don't call him the podcast opener for no reason. This guy knows everything. Rest in peace to Casey Kasem. Great run, man. Great run. And shout out to Riley Green, both of them. Shout out to Podcast Doesn't Exist. That was episode 2025. Jack Schwartz.
Where are you, Jack Schwartz?
Where'd he go?
I think it's because no one bought, or not enough people bought last year's brand deal.
Yeah. Well, we hope that Jack will return. Right now, it's kind of up in the air. He is currently, I think, like...
in limbo.
Yeah, he's doing, he's got his own thing. He's got cameras and he's filming movies and, he's not really been a big baseball guy. So I think some of the comments may have got to him a little bit. Like some people have been a little mean to him. Maybe he deserved it. Maybe he didn't. But I don't know. He just feels like maybe a couple podcasts off, see how he feels type things. But maybe if you guys could write in the comments how you feel about him, how he makes you feel, like your thoughts, like how fucked up it is he would turn his back on the podcast. Like biggest news story of the year too. I mean, in terms of Ohtani coming back and the Devers trade, like don't you think this is probably one of the biggest episodes we've done yet?
I can't believe he isn't here for the biggest podcast of the year.
So then that's also a question. It's like if you're gonna like bow out at this time, do we even have him back, or is it time to look for another producer? But we'll leave that up to the fans. And if Jack Schwartz quits, I think the future of the podcast is in limbo. This could be the last episode, Mitchell.
Probably is. I mean,
do you want to quit the pod?
Mitchell producing this podcast? Good luck with this.
Yeah. I think Mitchell's proved he's been able to do the podcast helping and producing. We'll see if the sound's high enough.
Probably not.
But, if this goes well, next up, Mitchell might be all three. That guy can do it all.
It might not be a Joey. It's just going to be the Mitchell podcast.
I really want to turn this podcast in the Tampa Bay Rays, where you could just plug in anyone, anywhere, never heard of them, and we still are above the Mendoza line. We could still get good views, and I don't have to do anything.
Well, we got to trade you then.
Trade me, man. I got to trade me to talking baseball. Trade one for one. Trevor Plouffe for me.
No,
Would you make that trade? Would you make that trade, you piece of shit?
No, it's
you trade me
for 4 John Boy members that you've never heard of before.
Yeah,
that's the way the Rays work. That's how this works.
That's what Mitchell wants. He wants me out. Piece of shit. See you next time.